So one time I was in town with the client who was held up in the hotel, and I was like I really need to get some alcohol, like I really need some alcohol and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna just buy weed first, but I have money, like we can go get, but like there's someone I want to buy weed from. And I was like, oh I don't know, I don't really care, I should really need to get alcohol. But then he had like said, no, trust me, like we're gonna get it like right afterwards. She's like, oh yeah, fine, okay. So I was on where I think the time we're at like the train station, but then like we saw someone, and then he got the weed and stuff, and the like guy, he was nice, but then just like was having like the tremors and stuff and shaking, and then we so we were gonna go get some, and she's like, yeah, we gotta go, like she needs to get some drink. And he's like, oh yeah, she's like an alcoholic, she's like shakes. He's like, yeah. And then we see a lady, and she's like talking to us. She's like, oh, do you want some alcohol? And I was like, and then she gives him the like this is like a fireball. Says, share this with her, right? I was shaking really bad, and then talking. She's like, oh, we're you two kind of, and he's like, oh, we're in this program. You know, I'm up at this hotel. She's at this residential program. She's like, oh, do you need to go to a soup kitchen? Like, yeah, I go to this soup kitchen. And then she's talking, and she's like saying how she's homeless, and like, oh, you're homeless? And she's like, yeah, it's okay and stuff. Felt badly, but because we drink the alcohol, but it helped the shakes. But we were gonna go get more alcohol, and then yeah, she could tell I felt bad, so she's like, oh, it's okay. And then, but yeah, like that's the thing, like strangers and stuff out could tell that like I was having like withdrawal symptoms. And before that, like, yeah, I would either like for a while, probably like months, I would either wake up drunk or wake up shaking. Oftentimes like shaking and screaming. It would like, yeah, so it'd like every day, actually, well, like the whole time I was there, pretty much I was drinking all day, every day. And then and most of the time I was drinking whilst taking benzos, like drinking all the time, and on top of like taking benzos at least once every day, sometimes twice a day. But yeah, like sometimes I would try to take it in the morning. I would drink in the morning still, but I would have like nips all the time, all like nips on me, so I could drink throughout the day, and like have it mixed in with different drinks, so I could drink it throughout the whole day, because they're small, so they're easy to keep, and like have like whatever, like have a nip as soon as I wake up. Then afterwards, I would like later on, I would start to have mix it in some juice, drink it a little slowly, have like more in the evening, and like 2 nips at night, plus and then the benzos and all the like alpha agonists. But this was like on a good day too, because yeah, for sure. And I think and then at some point it increased, but like also too, I'd have more if I got annoyed with someone. I'd have more too on top of it. My normal, like I would have at some point, I did have a pretty steady thing where I think that was pretty accurate about how I drink a lot. But yeah, so I would have that, like, just nips on me all the time. and I have like drinks, and I like could to some extent I would moderate it to like deal with physical discomfort, like getting sick. I wouldn't want to get sick, and also too, I wasn't like trying to make it super obvious, but like, so even when I drink a lot too, but because my tolerance, I think from the benzos, it was like higher than average anyway, but plus and then I would drink on top of the benzos is like cross tolerance. And I would when one time I got this hangover, I had a water bottle filled with vodka, and I was really mad, and I drank a little over half of it, and then I was like, I want to try to go to sleep. Maybe I'll wake up and I won't be as mad. And then I woke up and I was actually still very mad, so I drank the rest of the bottle. And then I was like, the residents sort of like started to get this really bad hangover. So I went over to a staff, and I was like, I don't feel good. Could you please go buy me some Gatorade and crackers? And yeah, they get me some Gatorade and crackers, and I drank it, I laid down, and then I felt better in a few hours, and I said, I have to pace myself more, because that was an awful time. But yeah, even like people out though, like another client, other people were noticing I was in withdrawal, but I don't know. They didn't notice, they probably noticed, but again, they didn't care. I think, which like, yeah, so they were acting like certain things I was saying was like lying. At one point too, I was like, we have this like, anyways, esophagus problems in my family, but I was choking on a pill. I guess a staff member told me I was technically choking because I was like coughing, but it was like down the wrong pipe. So I kind of like freaked out, and she kind of just like stared, like kind of just ignoring it, and it's like, and then she said to the other staff member, oh, she's doing that for attention, which is kind of weird. So, but yeah, I don't know if they thought the shake, but you can't really fake tremor, so I don't know. They just had like bad judgment about me. Like, I feel like, yeah, they're very quick to judge me negatively there as well. A lot of the people, not like all the people, but yeah, a lot of them were. But yeah, the clients, like, yeah, like I said, when I started getting, like, some of the new clients came, and I went to a spirituality group, which was a lot better. Like, I could talk about negative things and with the clients, and like when I was going like through the withdrawal, like I was always kind of like became much more like self-conscious, and one of the clients could tell, and she'd always be like, Kayla, you're doing good and stuff, which was like, yeah, like you didn't get that type of compassion from like most of the people who worked there really at all. There's like one staff member who, like when I was talking about the poison stuff, and he was always like compassionate towards me, but most of them, yeah, they weren't. Most of them weren't at all. But yeah, I think, yeah, that just, and the thing too, yeah, part of it was like a lot of it did start with trying to avoid the rebound effect, so that's like so when it started, because when I realized when I drank, it would like kind of put the rebound effects at bay. So then, but then when it would wear off, it would just come back. So like, I was already doing that before he said that, like trying to like stop it from like wearing off. So it wasn't like, it probably, yeah, like there was times like when I came back to the residence that one time after I spent the night getting sick, like I was still like, I was stumbling and getting sick, so they're like acting like they were catching me out, and it's like, I'm not going to pretend at that point that I'm not drunk. I'm stumbling and I'm getting sick. So again, that was just their mindset. Like, but with the withdrawal, I feel like it became most obvious with the withdrawal, but no one even seemed to care really. And I did tell them at like some points, and just like with like Matt Bernstein, he said I was being like, he wrote a report about me and how I was like being manipulated to drink a lot, and then different things about like that I was easily manipulated to trusting in people, had a like a almost childlike and naive mindset or something. And like I tried to tell him that like I was like, no, actually, a lot of times I'm drinking, because this was actually, I think, after I turned 21, so I would go to the liquor store and buy alcohol anyway at that point, and I was out away from the residence, so I'd buy like big liters of alcohol at that point. And yeah, he was like, kind of like, so I tried to tell him that. It's like, oh, so it's a choice? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I was like, yeah, so can you like change that? Like, because like I didn't really want to talk to him specifically about this, because like I felt in many ways he initially like was part of why I was drinking already, but he's like, no, I don't, no, that's my opinion. I'm like, but you weren't there. I was. Like, you don't even barely see me. Like, the only reason I'm talking to him is because about this report that I was trying to kind of correct, but that was just his ego. And the thing is, like, there's ego and there's like control too. So like, I was trying to like, yeah, different ways. Like, first I tried to kind of like get around his ego, even I think like all different approach. Tried to like get around his ego or even kind of appeal to it. That wouldn't work. Attack his ego. So I'd be like, say, well, this is what you do, even all the things wrong. That didn't work. But then I realized, okay, so there's just more than like nothing I say, because there's this element of control that he wants it. Like, even if I'm like not seeing him, he can't let up that control to have me see someone else. And then that's why I tried to seek, like, okay, I can't get this through talking to him. He's the medical director, so I guess I'll go to like one of the founders or something. I guess that's the most logical step to do. I mean, he's very detrimental to me, like, and that's the thing. Part of it why I didn't seem to is like detrimental to me, but yeah, so like, yeah, so I did, at that point, I did tell him more about like the level I was drinking at, because I'm not someone who's easily manipulated. I'm not someone who's naive and she'll believe anything. Like, yeah, I'm not too trusting of people. No, I definitely am careful to try to, always be aware of like potential like threats, and I take a lot of stuff with like, try to look at things objectively, take stuff with a grain of salt. Like, yeah, and it's not like, yeah, sometimes I'll like, if someone says something, sometimes I'll talk to them and I'll like kind of talk in a way that's like, yeah, I'll like assume some truth, but it doesn't mean I like believe everything here. But this is also just like not even based on that. It's just, I don't know where he got that idea, because I didn't really speak to him, and he didn't really observe me. But yeah, I do, like, when I'm talking to people on some level, I think, right, like, it's not, yeah, on some level, like, conversationally, like, I'll take what they say as truth. It doesn't mean, like, I automatically think it's definitely truth, but it's just, like, yeah, you don't want to, it's like you're talking to someone and you want to put them on, like, a witness stand, and like it's not something. But yeah, I mean, well, obviously too, if I'm like talking to like a professional, like I want to know all like the risks involved with stuff and like how they came to the decision. And some of them just like I feel like I'm asking normal questions and they say they feel interrogated. But yeah, no one else has said I've been too trusting, I don't think, aside from him.